And that ties into what we'll discuss in relationship to the Dark Triad, because there's some mystery about why women seem to be attracted to these so-called Dark Triad traits. And I would say that they're using them as insufficient markers for the ability to or the acquisition of status. So, and narcissists capitalize on that, right? Because a narcissist looks confident, and lots of confident people are competent, but some confident people aren't competent, but they can fool you. Do you want to just tell everybody what the Dark Triad is first, so that we're all on the same page?
Yeah. So the Dark Triad, I think this was originally named by one of your Canadian psychology colleagues, Del Paula, at the UBC. And the Dark Triad originally was three triad, but it's narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. So where narcissism is typically marked by a sense of grandiosity, a sense of entitlement. They think they're the most intelligent, the smartest, the most attractive, the most charming, the most skilled, etc. Or in the words of one of my former graduate students, they think they're hot, but they're not. Machiavellianism, that stems from the Prince of, I can't remember how many hundreds of years ago that was written, but it's basically people who pursue an exploitative social strategy. So they are, when we were talking about reciprocity earlier, they will feign reciprocity, feign being good reciprocators, but then they will cheat. And so these are the liars, the cheaters.
Right. So if the patriarchy was based on exploitative power, then Dark Triad personality traits would be adaptively and practically useful and desirable. If that was the case.
Yeah, if that was the case.
Yes, but, yes, okay. Now, and that gets complicated, because one of the things your research has indicated is that there is a manner in which women are attracted to people who manifest Dark Triad traits.
Yeah, I would add the qualifier that it tends to be younger women. So teenagers or women in their early 20s. Women, as they mature and get more experience on the mating market, tend to be less attracted to these Dark Triad characters.
Okay, so here's a hypothesis. It's not that easy to distinguish the willingness to use casual power and control from competence when you're not very experienced. And so the Dark Triad types can feign status-related competence, and they can ensnare naive women.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. And they also have some qualities that women genuinely do desire. So they tend to, like the narcissists, tend to put themselves at the center of attention. And one of the things we know about status hierarchies is that the attention structure is very important. That is, the high status people tend to be those to whom the most people pay the most attention. And so women are drawn. One anecdote, a female colleague of mine, very intelligent evolutionary psychologist, went to a conference and found herself very attracted to the organizer of the conference. And then 6 months later, she encountered him, and he was just a normal attendee at the conference, and she didn't find him very attractive. She wondered, what was I thinking? But what it was is he was at the center of the attention structure.
Well, the attention structure is an unbelievably reliable indicator of what's valuable, because we don't devote our visual attentive resources to anything that isn't of singular value in the environment. And so that's why precisely why we compete for attention. It's also an extremely valuable resource.
Absolutely. So, a valuable and limited resource. It's finite. And so really at every moment in time, we're making decisions about what to allocate our attention to. So we didn't mention the third one, which is the third element of the Dark Triad, which is psychopathy. And you probably have a deeper understanding of psychopathy than I do, but one of the hallmarks is a lack of empathy. That is, most normal humans have an empathy circuit that we feel compassion if someone gets hurt, or if a pet gets injured, or a child falls down and skins a knee. We feel a sense of compassion for the suffering of other people, but psychopaths don't. It's like they might laugh if someone gets hurt, and so that empathy circuit seems to be severed. And also, one of the hallmarks seems to be that they're not responsive to punishment. That they're more oriented toward reward, and so punishing them doesn't tend to change their behavior. I mean, one other reason that I think that women are attracted to the dark triad, at least the younger women, is um, that they're often risk takers. So they will do things like motorcycle jumping or ski jumping, or take physical risks, speeding in their cars, or and so the kind of daredevil mentality, and women, at least younger women, find that exciting. But these guys, these high dark triad guys, are absolutely disastrous as long-term mates. So that they might be exciting for sure. I mean, that's why I think that women, as they mature, stop being attracted to these guys, especially if they're looking for a long-term mate, because these are guys, they're the dark triad, they're more likely to cheat, they're more likely to seduce and abandon, they're more likely to engage in deceptive mating tactics. And so they tend to be big trouble when it comes to long-term mating.